back at you again, looking at some stock charts and some stock market analysis and see where we've been and where we may be going. So let's jump right into it. Last week, I kept talking about expected volatility to increase Thursday and Friday. We did increase volatility, but mainly it was volatility just straight up. We just pretty much had directional moves as the news came out, and obviously the jobs numbers were all better than expected. Everything else was negative, but the jobs numbers, although they are still terrible, they're not as terrible as everybody thought they would be. So obviously that's what the market seeped on and decided to move on. It latched onto that news and took off. So that's kind of what gave us our move on Friday up and made us uh, extremely positive for the week. So let's see where we're at now. See if we can get an idea of what we see is going on out here. So this is the VIX. I've had a couple of people email me, tweet me different things about the VIX lately, and it's something I brought up this gray zone here. But what they're talking about, this line that I've had in here for quite a while, is every time it gets down to the 16 area, you usually have a pretty good move up. We're not there yet. We may get in that area. But right now we're in this gray zone that you could see it obviously offered support. I kept blogging about it last week. Offered support in here, and it looked like it was going to hold and break up. And that's what I thought was going to happen. It looked like this top line was making some serious support, and I thought we are going to have a nice bounce up off of it. We did not. Instead, we gapped down and gapped right to the bottom here, right to this area here. Now this one candle could be the anomaly. This was a gap down up day. On this line. This is the one I use to make this trend line, so you can't say it's part of it. It is the candle that I use. So this line, now looking back at it, could be off a little bit, and that could be one of those anomaly type of candles. In fact, if we take this right here, let's duplicate that line, and we'll move it here and up here. That might be a better line to have on the VIX there for this megaphone pattern. Not saying we're going to reach it. We didn't reach it to the upside here. We barely made it up here to this 29.58 line. So it doesn't mean we'll reach it. I think we'll find support here at 16 for sure. I would be very, very shocked if we broke right through the 16 level. Okay, I would expect to see it there. I'm going to drop back to a 2-year daily chart. We're going to clean up some of these studies here just for kicks, just to show you what we're looking at. So here's the Dow. The Dow, we had this cup with handle I talked about last week, and it was a clear breakout of the cup with handle. Volume was okay. I mean, it's at least average, maybe a little more. I'd rather see something like these here. Moves up with the volume, a big volume pop with it. We did not. We still have not seen that big volume pop. And those big volume pops are always down days, it seems like, lately. So we're coming up to this minor resistance. I wouldn't consider this as strong resistance at all. This I would have said was strong resistance, so we blew right through this 10.521. Obviously, the next area really of resistance in the short term is right up here, our previous highs. So I don't see any reason not to maybe move sideways and make a move up into this area right now, looking at the Dow. So if we look at the SPX, let's see if it looks the same. Pretty similar. We busted through this trend line here. You can see here's that bull flag I talked about last week. It broke right up. We broke right through the downtrend on there, heading up. So obviously the next resistance is going to be right here at this 1151, 1152 area. Okay, so that is the best point to see a stall out, and we could easily move right up there to that line in a day or two, or easily in a day. So that absolutely could happen. So if we go back to the NASDAQ now, NASDAQ's a little bit different story. We're already there. The NASDAQ is already there. Okay, so the NASDAQ was obviously the leader on strength. It's already made its power move. It's gapped up twice. So if it gaps up again, that would be 3 gaps rising. That's usually a pretty bullish signal. So you've got a nice gap up here. You got this little island, this little bull flag, a nice gap up here. So you could easily see another gap up here. If this holds, I think this will be the leading sector indice that's going to take the rest of the market down with it. So very strong, very strong. Just typical. This is actually a bull flag here, a little bull flag here. It's just consolidating, moving, consolidating, moving. So if we see 3 days sideways here, we're going to be looking probably for a move up. Even though usually at resistance we'd be looking for a move down, we're probably going to be looking for a move up just because of the way it has been moving lately. Now, All that taking into consideration, the one that I've really been watching and I keep talking about every couple of days is the RUT, the Russell. I actually have moved my trend line up a little bit to more encompass this total move. Um, and it's not really a trend line; it's a channel line. So I moved it up a little bit. You can see it is very similar to the NASDAQ. And remember, last week I posted on the blog, I thought this area we might be turning around. And that is a reversal signal, much like this right here is. So I thought, well, we could be turning around looking for a little move, perhaps to here, perhaps down to here, and moving back up. Um, but alas, we did not. We just went ahead and gapped right up. Strong move, blew out all this trend up here. Okay, so we've broken out of this channel, clear breakout out of this channel. And normally when I play these, I like to wait for a retest of this line here to see if it's going to hold. So if this moves up another day and then drops down and hits on this line, that's where I like to trade. A lot of people trade right off this breakout, and that's fine. Something I want to point out though, look at the number. And it may or may not be anything. I just think it's coincidence. 666 is the number right now. That was our closing number on the RUT. What was the low on the SPX? 666. Maybe coincidence, maybe nothing. I just thought it was curious. Point it out to you. Take it for what it's worth. Here's my fib lines on here. You can see they're not offering a lot of resistance. There are more areas than strong lines right in here, and we blew right through that one. No problem. That's a 660, okay? So this is the 666 is right above here. This number here is, these lows here are 668 actually. So that would be a decent area of resistance, I would say here, is the 668. So we're right there. We're right there. It's at a decent point for this to turn around. Again, like I said, if it comes up, touches, we're going to head back up, and we're probably going to move up into this area, up into this range, up in here. I don't see any reason to stop us from going up into here. Okay? So I can make a really bullish case here as these channels are just getting blown out of the water. Resistance is getting blown out of the water. Although fundamentally, I don't see any reason for it. I think we're still in a world of hurt. Just looking at charts, I got to look at charts. Just looking at the charts, you can see how very easily we could just be moving up like crazy. So we're going to go back to 2-year now. Let's look at a few stocks while we're at it. One I really wanted to show you was GS because it's an industry leader and everybody's always looking at GS. So I look at GS. I don't post it much because everybody else always talks about it. But I want to throw up here because we got a really nice downtrend line that is just about perfectly touched. I had this line as a resistance line, which is the bottom here. Semi-strong, not a beautiful one, but one nonetheless. And we're hitting it right now, pulled back, and we've got a real nice downtrend line that I think is strong enough to offer some resistance. This was a strong move up. I really think this is going to stall out here, so I'm going to be watching the XLF closely. All right, so I just want to share that one with you. Here's another good one I really like. This is a retest. APD, Anchorage Police Department, in my neck of the woods. But you can see the gap down, the rally up, the fill of the gap, and then I'm going to watch for a hold here. Obviously, use this as your stop if you play puts. If it breaks above it, again, the retest, and then the move up is what I'm going to be playing. I think it's going to hold. I think it's going to drop. Volume has increased a lot over the last month or two. So do a little research into that, and you can see why that's happened. Don't have time to go over it now. Here's a little bull flag here. I'm going to be looking for a breakout to the upside on ED. All right, and this is $43 stock right now, or $43.62. So we're going to be looking for a break to the upside here. It's probably going to move up into the $45.50 range, I'd imagine. Maybe not in a straight line, but I think it'll get there. And finally, here's a little Coca-Cola. I just like this. I like this because it's been so stinking gappy. Just gappy. Gap down, coming back up, gapped up, and it's held right here. And we've got a nice doji cross right here. Volume's kind of decreased after this. The gap down is where the big volume is. The volume's kind of decreased into this move up a little bit here. I think this is going to hold. So I might be looking to play some puts here. So that's it. We don't have a lot of news coming out till Thursday or Friday next week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So econ news. But we got some some continuing claims, initial claims, and then retail sales on Friday. So that could all move the market. So this will be the AK Option Trader signing off. Great.